Okay, so I'm gonna try doing a little game review here. I just recorded this game and figured maybe it would be interesting to go through and commentate it. I ended up losing this game, so, you know, not just pat myself on the back here. But anyway, we're kind of going into this initially. Path settings, choosing a path. I wanted to play this game specifically with Cinderace. Because it's one of the ones that are available from the beginning, and it is a ranged attacker, and was kind of one of the first ones that I ended up doing decently well with, because it's so hard to know when you're going to be instantly killed when you go in. So for close range fighters, a lot of the time, as you may have experienced, you kind of just like end up just getting beat up really quickly. Whereas with some of the ranged ones, you can hover around the edges and kind of kick in damage and get more of a sense for when it's time to go in and when it isn't time to go in. So I wanted to demo this. Looking at the teams, you can see on the top left, there's a couple of those little green and blue badges. The blue badge means you've played like 300 plus games with that specific Pokemon. The green one is like 100 or so. And I'm flipping over the cards to look for more clues as to what people are at, but you can also see the little page turns on the left. There's 3 that have the purple and orange, and 2 that have the blue. So this is a relatively high level game. And then on the opposing team, I saw that their Trevenant had a badge, so that probably means they're experienced. Overall, at this point, I was thinking, I feel like we're pretty likely to win this game, because we have a lot more players that have badges, which means they're more experienced. That didn't end up playing out. This Mamoswine in my lane is purposely giving me all the experience. So you can see I got last hits on all those 3 up front. And this one. When you hear the little wing sound, that means that you're the one who got the last hit. So I also came over there and got the last hit on the enemy team's option. So now I see that he's going in to try to score, so I ran X speed there to try to catch up. But when you only have 4 or 5, there's really nothing that anyone can do to stop you from scoring. Unfortunately for him, he died for his efforts. Now I have a lot of points, and I see that they're not close, so I'm going over to try to score, but first I'm going to steal their health refills. So this is going pretty well for me at this point. I had stolen a lot of their experience. I got a big score in, we killed one of them, we're in good shape. I'm not going to over push my advantage because I'm a little low in health. However, at that moment we just saw Absol kind of roll up there on the bottom. And so maybe it was actually the wrong idea and I should have pushed forward, because now it was 3 on 2 or 3 on 1 and we probably could have killed him again, but it looks like Absol decided to leave. My Mamoswine is kind of hiding in the bushes, and now they've got a bit of an advantage on us, but I think they flew a little too close to the sun. So here comes a third one on their team. I barely managed to snipe that guy out, but this guy is a higher level than me. You can see he's 6 and he's evolved, so I'm not being too aggressive with him because I'll probably die. Cinderace does 2 evolutions, so for anyone that evolves, they really are relatively weak until they reach their final evolution. There's some Pokemon that don't evolve, and so they're stronger from the get-go, but the ones that do evolve more times end up being kind of stronger once they have evolved as a trade-off. So we've got 2 on 1. I was being a little bit greedy here, trying to go down and get some experience from the middle, but it ended up working out, and this Mamoswine was able to defend against them, so it was pretty good. You can see I'm kind of spending a lot of time just attacking the neutrals because I'm really trying to get my last evolution. Here. He's in the bush, I saw him go in there, but I couldn't quite hit him. And you can see how I'm sort of trying to hang back and avoid their attacks. Both of these enemies are close range attackers, so I can really bully them as long as I hang back. And I'm just going to pause it for a second. On this section here, the little birds in the middle, you can choose to either attack the enemy or you can choose to attack the neutrals. In that case, I focused a lot of my efforts on the neutrals because I wanted the experience and I wanted to evolve. You could configure the game so that, actually, if you look in the bottom right corner, there's a little animal head button that's tiny, and then there's the big button with the exploding. symbol on it. The bigger button is, by default, you attack the enemy if there's an enemy in a neutral nearby. So this is effectively the enemy attack button. The little tiny one with a head on it is forced to attack the neutral even if there's an enemy nearby. And so that's kind of how I got the last hit at the beginning of the game on the neutral, even though the enemy was there. And it's something that you want to keep in mind. You can configure this in your settings, like who you want to be hitting. Okay, let's keep going. So far, this game is going really well. I've gotten my evolution. I'm a very high level compared to everyone else. This Absol here was the one who is in the jungle, which is typically the highest level and the most experience in the team, and I have the same amount of experience as him. So I'm kind of killing it. Now we're going to go after this objective. And it looks like we're easily able to take it. The enemy doesn't even show up. At this point, I'm trying to decide whether I want to go with it. One of them shows up, the other one pops a Unite. But he does a very bad job running it because he misses everybody. There he ends up killing me, but I also kill him. Was the exchange worth it? I don't really know. He was one of the highest level on their team, so it probably was. Now my team continues to push, and you can see I'm watching with the camera even though I'm dead. I don't think that they're going to get this one in. But I admire their efforts, and I don't think I can get there in time to help out anyway because it's really far, so instead I'm going to clear out some of these neutrals in the middle area. These neutrals are really good and they give you a ton of experience. The ones here on the top and bottom with the little, the blue and the orange circles around them also give you a buff. You can see that I now have a blue circle around me. And when I killed that one, I also got an orange circle. Those will strengthen your attacks and reduce the cooldowns on your moves. So those are really helpful to get because they make you much stronger. That was probably an overly aggressive move there, but somehow I ended up getting out of it anyway. I tried to run my Unite there and it got cancelled. We've got 3 of them up here. I probably need to watch out at this point or I'm going to die. And there we go, I do die. So let's pause. I think the problem in this section here, let's actually see if we can go back a little bit and do a little review. So I'm relatively aggressive in general when I'm playing this game, especially when I know that I'm ahead, which here I am. You can see that I'm level 10. We've got an 8 and a 9, and the 9 is almost at half health, so I could probably kill him pretty quickly, which is why I was kind of going for it. But we also know that there's another one over here. So in this case, we have a 3-on-2 situation, and I only have half my health, so I'm already at a disadvantage. At this point, I saw this guy coming in with half health on the right edge of the screen, and I was like, I think I could kill that guy. This was a bit of a miscalculation initially because this particular character, Trevenant, is really, really good at recovering health and is a huge tank. So I don't really think I could kill him anyway unless there was nobody else there. But there was somebody else right next to me who could come back and help. And additionally, I saw that Serena here popped out of the bush. And so it's really a 1-on-2 with me having half health kind of scenario. Already not advisable, and I know that there's a third one right back behind me who just ran a Unite move, which means that they're going to be stronger. So I go in here anyway. Pretty aggressive. I start putting a couple hits on him, and I'm trying to see if I can peg this guy down. Meanwhile, the enemy is coming in from behind here to come help support. So now it's 3-on-1 because also my lane partner has decided to retreat. I thought he was going to come with me up here, but he didn't. He ended up abandoning me, which is something that I should have been watching for and known that it was time to bail before going in like this. Now at this point, it's maybe 2-on-1, maybe 3-on-1, depending on whether the other one comes back. We can see 2 on the screen. It's time for me to go at this point because I'm obviously not going to be able to kill them. This Serena on the top is running away, so I'd have to keep chasing, and I have somebody with full health that just united on my tail, and I only have half health, so I need to get out of here. But instead, I kind of keep chasing. And then, here's what really does me in. In from the bottom of the screen here, we have their jungler coming up, who's a higher level than me, level 11. And now it ends up being a full 3-on-1. There's no possible way, no matter how strong I am, that I can win a full 3-on-1 at half health. So the second that this guy comes onto the screen, I'm dead. At this point is where you can see him come onto the screen on the mini-map on the top left. So if I was really on my game and I was watching carefully, I would have seen him appear on the screen and I should have gone north to get out of here. the guy who's on me right now is a supporter, and so he's not going to be able to really kill me, even though he'll be able to hinder me. And this guy over here, this Serena on the right, is running away. So as soon as I see someone else pop up on the bottom of the screen, I could have not died here by moving up and to the left and heading back towards my goal zone. But instead what happened is I keep fighting. This guy comes in and he takes me out. It's really hard to have awareness of the map like this because when you're fighting somebody like actively, you're focusing on moving around and trying to fight them. But I've found that most of the times that I die, and I think through this analysis we'll see most of the times that I mess up, I could have prevented the mess up if I had had a little bit more split awareness between what's happening right in front of me and what's happening on the little map in the top left, because you want to stack it in your favor by getting into situations where you have a 2 or 3-on-1 and avoiding situations where it's the opposite of that. And you can really get a lot of awareness of when people are popping in and out of the map and when you should move in and out if you can keep an eye on that consistently. So anyway, this is a really bad death for me. They both have 40 points. You can see it next to their handles, and they're going to score some big dunks right here and probably take out our top goal, and there's realistically nothing I can do about it. I used X speed to try to go fast and prevent it, but this is really silly. And here I'm trying to aim my Unite to kill them. I think at this point I just think I might be able to take them all out if I go in, and I do end up taking out this guy, so it's not that bad. And this guy's definitely going to go down too, although he put up an admirable fight. He almost got me, which would have been very surprising. So now at this point, I'm thinking, okay, they dunked our goal, but we killed both of them in exchange for it. It's not the worst situation. I see here that the jungle area is completely full and nobody has cleared it out. I don't really see anything going on in the top lane. They already killed our goal. We have people on the top and bottom that are defending. I could go to the bottom, but it seems like they're going to win this fight already. It's 2-on-1, and the one that they have is a defender, and I don't really have any health. So my motivation is I'm going to go get some experience. I'm going to go refill my health. Whenever you're killing the neutrals, they will gradually restore your health. So if I take a little lap around the center area and clear that out, I'll get some experience. I'll refresh those buffs that are around me. I should be able to regain some health, and then I'll be ready to make a decision of where I want to go next. So here I take a left and I veer into the jungle. You could see my health restoring a little. Unfortunately, he put a hit on me there, which took my health back down, but it will continue to restore here throughout the process. At this point, I've decided, okay, I see that this Absol is clearing out the bottom half of the jungle. I'm going to give it to him and not fight over it. I have low health. I don't think I'm going to be able to recover all my health if he already cleared the bottom half, so I'm going to go back to base. So I went back to base, refilled my health, and now let's see where I'm going to go. Going up north because I see that there's an objective up at the top and that our mammoth swine is waiting for some support to start taking it. So I show up. Now he comes out. He checks the other bush to see if the enemy's there, and we go. This is an interesting moment here, this decision making, because I think this was quite good. So there's a few things that happened that were good. First of all, this guy waited. He didn't go straight in on it. This objective here at the top is really strong and it can kill you really fast, as you probably noticed in the games you played. And trying to take it on alone is not really a great idea. Additionally, it's possible that the enemy is here and they're kind of waiting to come take you out. And what they can do is just hide in that other bush, wait till you start taking some damage and hitting it, and then just kill you and take the objective. And so the mammoth swine knew this, and so he was waiting until he had some support. So I came up to support, and then as soon as I did, he comes out and he checks the other bush to see if the enemy's there. There's nobody in there, so we both go in and we start attacking. I also see that behind me here, the Absol is coming up, so we'll have 3 players up here, which is great. With 3 people, you feel pretty confident about taking objectives in general. I don't see any of the enemy anywhere on the map, though, so we have absolutely no idea where they are. And additionally, none of them are dead, because when they die, you can see their death timers to the right of the game timer. So we don't really know where they are. They could all be coming up here. They could all be going down. They could be cleaning out some of their experience. We're not really sure, which still makes this a little bit risky of a situation, but since none of them are already here and we have 3 people here, it's generally time to go for it. We've done our safety checks. Now, additionally, let's see how we approach this objective here. The first thing you do after this guy takes a hit is he pops out a gigantic area attack right where you are. You see it? I hit him and instantly there's a giant red circle around me, projecting a huge attack. This attack from him does a ton of damage, and I know that he does this attack as soon as you hit him. So I hit him once, and then I use my dash to get out of the way of that giant attack, which he then misses. And you can keep hitting him. The next attack he does is this like 3-way cross thing, which I know is coming. So when I do this jump onto him, I make sure to land where he's not going to put one of his crosses. You see how he's projecting the attacks here? And I'm right in the middle, so I'm not going to take a hit from any of that. So this was a pretty good objective approach. We now have 3 people here. We've already gotten it down to half health, and we start to see 2 enemies pop up in the screen. We've got an 11 and a 12. We have a 12, 12, and a 9. We should be able to easily win this fight. And this guy has come in with a Unite because he feels like he might be able to steal the objective, which means that he's flying around, not really doing much. This guy's down here trying to attack us. So let's see how this plays out. This guy puts a little bit of a hit on me, so I back up. He also runs his Unite here. His Unite is a big area of effect damage thing. So I'm going to get out of there as quick as possible. If you stay in that circle, you're going to die. He again did a really, really poor job with the Unite. He didn't actually cover the objective. He didn't hit anybody with it. And on top of that, during this section, the 2 of us, me and Absol, have been not aiming at the enemy, but instead aiming at the objective. You can see my soccer ball getting kicked over there. You can see him attacking it. And then right here, since they're not close to it and they're focusing on trying to kill us, we take the objective, and then I'm getting out of there because I know he's coming for me. So that was a good dodge right there. And now he's still coming for me. Let's see what I do. At this point, I feel like maybe I can kill him, but after that hit, I don't think I can anymore. So this was pretty bad. This is a really, really unfortunate situation. But I had a really great escape from this guy. I think in general, we completely shut them down here, right? We took the objective. They both united and didn't kill any of us. And then he comes to run after me, and I dodge all of his attacks and make him chase. Unfortunately, their other team member is sitting here on the goal already. And he's just scored. And so what I'm aiming for is I'm trying to get to the goal so I can recover some health and I can start getting out of here. But this guy is on the goal, and this is another one of those situations where being aware of what's happening on the map would have actually saved me for sure. But I wasn't. This is a really intense situation. I was putting all my focus on trying to not get killed. If he puts one single tiny attack on me, I'm dead at this point. I have no health at all. So I'm just running like crazy trying to escape. And what I don't realize, even though I easily could have realized it because he's been there the whole time. Look, he's still there on the map, still there on the map, still there on the map. I could have realized that he would be there and he was going to kill me once I got back. But instead, I dashed directly towards him. Here, I could have dashed downwards and gone into the jungle and then hid in one of the bushes and headed back to base and survived. But I just wasn't paying attention to the map again, and so I end up running right into this guy who gets an easy KO on me because I have 1 HP, which is really unfortunate. This almost never happens, but it's one of those things you do have to be aware of. So now we get in a really bad situation because this guy just scored. Now he gets an easy KO on me, picks up all of my little Pokeballs, and he's going to go score again for free because my whole team is fucking around. What I'm thinking at this point is, it looks like we have a 2-on-1 over here in this situation, and we have the objective. So in exchange for his score, he's probably going to get this entire goal zone destroyed, and this guy's probably going to die. So it's not the worst trade-off, but if I had gone into the jungle and started pegging him and stopping him from scoring and gotten back here, then I could have prevented probably like 50 from going in here and not died, which would have been great. Or even he just had scored, so if I had just not gotten killed by him, he picked up this 22 off of me dying. He wouldn't have gotten 22 in here either and probably would have just started running back. But he wouldn't have been able to get back in time because that's a pretty long distance and this guy looks like he's already about to die. So here he goes with his score. I'm coming over to check this situation. He just killed them. They're about to push this in and now they can both score for free, which is great. So they're both going to get some goals in. And at this point, I'm like, all the action is too far away from me, so I'm going to try to get some experience over here and make sure that this guy doesn't come try to score on this goal again, the tree, which I bet he is. Yep, there he comes. So there's the tree. He's trying to score again. I'm going to stop him from scoring. And I'm going to see if I can kill him. He just barely survives that one. If I had hit him with that move, he would have been dead for sure, but he got away, so I'm now going to go clear the jungle again, because there's not really much happening, and I know if I come back, I can stop them from scoring again. Okay, so I cleared the jungle. At this point, I have a decision to make. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? So I'm looking at the map. I see that Cramorant the bird is coming up top to defend this goal. I see 3 of my team members on the bottom. Again, I don't see any enemy team members anywhere on the map, and none of them are dead right now, so I don't know where they are. But my calculus is, if they go bottom, I don't care because we already have 3 down there, so they'll probably die. If they go top, I'm going to go maybe have to help this bird, but I'll have time because he's there and he can stall them out for a minute. So I think what I do is I end up going into the center to try to pick up some of this experience in the middle for free, because I don't really see anyone contesting it. Here I try to jump across the wall and I fail because I'm an idiot and I should have known that. So here I go into the middle. These little green berries are speed boosts. Now this is an interesting situation here. Let's rewind for a second. I really got caught off guard pretty badly here, because as soon as I saw nobody on the map at all, I start coming into the middle, and now I'm concentrating on moving efficiently and getting my experience. But then out of the blue, they managed to route around the team on the bottom and get 2 people in here to score a huge goal on the bottom. At this point, I'm too far away to stop this from happening. And so there's really nothing I can do about it, even though they're going to get a massive score here, which is really unfortunate. This is a very sneaky move. I'm not sure how they got around there, but they did. So potentially what I should have done is gone to the bottom and gotten these 2 dots of experience instead and been close to the goal so I could defend. And that's kind of a good lesson to learn for next time, is like, at this point, this is where I made my decision to go in the middle. I saw 3 at the bottom. I saw no enemies. I see that this Mamoswine is close enough to the path that if anyone tried to walk by, I would probably see them. But ultimately, that's just not what happened, right? You can see one guy come in here. Now they're all at the bottom, and the other 2 are just walking clean down the path towards the goal. And there they go. So that was a pretty bad error. But it happens. Now I'm coming in to try to help out my team at this point, because I feel like we can probably at least kill one of them. So here I go. There's 2 of them there. I run my Unite. At this point, I would say this was a poor decision, and I kind of knew this was a poor decision at the time. I remember this. So I was sitting here and I was like, okay, we were fighting them for a while. It looks like the team got the objective because we have these little shields around us, which is what happens after you get the bottom objective. And now my team is just going to fight these birds instead of killing the 2 of them, even though it's 3-on-2, which I don't really understand. So I'm like, let's go over here and kill them. They're still sitting around. This is easy pickings. This guy's at half health already. Let's take him out. And Absol comes with me. Machamp is still up there trying to kill some neutrals, which is probably the wrong decision. And then you can see the tree is coming back. At this point, I'm like, okay, we're about at 2:30, which means that the final fight is at 2 minutes. I have my Unite. I see an opportunity to kill both of them. I don't think I can kill both of them if I don't use my Unite. So I end up using my Unite. What I should have done is just let them go. I want to have my Unite at the final fight because it's much more important to kill them at the final fight, because if you can get the Rayquaza dragon in the middle, you effectively will automatically win. But instead, I pull it out here, and even if I kill them both, there's still 30 seconds before the final fight, so they'll have plenty of time to respawn and get back into the middle. So this just isn't that valuable, other than getting me a little bit of experience. So here I go. This one goes down. The other one I want to kill as well, because I'm just off my Unite, but he retreats too fast, so I only end up getting 1 KO off of that. And now that guy's going to be back plenty in advance for that final fight. So this was a big mistake by me and might have potentially led to us losing the game. Generally, keeping an eye on this timer and making sure not to use your Unite below the 3-minute mark is a really good idea, because you just want to be at your strongest for that last fight, because it really matters quite a lot. Whereas that fight really just didn't matter that much. I picked up 1 KO. I got a little bit of experience. It just wasn't enough payoff. You only can use your Unite maybe 2-3 times a game. At this point, I'm kind of just wandering around aimlessly, and then here's where I decide I don't really see any of the enemy team on the map in places where they're not already contested, right? This guy's fighting down here. He's probably going to die. This is a stupid idea to be pushing at this point. This guy's up here, but Mamoswine's against him, so there's no way he's going to be able to get in the goal because Mamoswine's too tanky. This guy looks like he's getting experience, and then our Cramorant's dead. One of their team members who I just killed is dead, but he'll be back plenty in advance of the last fight. I don't see any experience on our side of the map, really, that I can pick up. There's these 2 dots in the top left, but Mamoswine should be getting those after he's done with that fight. Machamp is picking up everything on the bottom, so I'm like, all right, I've got 20 seconds left. What am I going to do? And so my idea is I'm going to go see if I can hide, and then once the 2-minute mark passes and all scoring is doubled, go in and try to score a quick goal on their goal and then get back into the middle for the fight, because that'll put us in a good position. So I go into their side of the jungle, and I see that their buffs are still up. So I take one of their buffs, take some experience, and now I'm sitting in this bush. I decide that this is probably a better bush to sit in, so I'm sitting here for the last 10 seconds, and I'm watching the map. I don't see much happening. It looks like we're in good shape. Everybody's alive. Absol is getting into the middle. I don't see any enemy teams anywhere near me. I see a couple of them fighting in middle. Here's where I want to go try to score. Unfortunately, I got super unlucky, and the Serena just happened to be the air picking up experience. And so I couldn't get a score in. I recognized that wasn't going to happen, and I got out of there as quick as I could to try to get into the middle for the last fight. So here I go. And this is the spot where we're really going to have to slow it down, because this is where the game was lost. At this point, we were pretty even. Maybe we were even ahead. But let's see what happened here. So I come jumping into the middle, and this guy, who's just about as strong as I am, shows up immediately. If I was really, really fast on my reflexes, what I would have done is pulled out Blaze Kick so that I could get to and behind him and then kill him very quickly. But I just landed. I was trying to look around at the map. I was trying to move towards the center, and he comes up and hits me immediately with a pretty big move that chunks. Oh no, actually he missed. That's astounding. I don't know how this happened. Probably should have hit that. So he ends up missing this move, and I end up hitting him anyway with this Blaze Kick, and I get behind him. So at this point, he's dead. There's 2 of us on him. Half his health is gone, and he's going to get ripped. So this guy goes down. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good about the fight, because that was their strongest player on the team who does the most damage, and we just killed him immediately, and both of us have completely full health. We didn't even take a single hit from him. So I'm looking towards the center, and I see that the dragon is really quickly dropping HP. It seems like they're just focusing on killing the dragon and not us at all. And then at this point, I get very unlucky in that the dragon actually puts a hit on us from outside the circle and stuns us. Serena's coming back on the top, and now I'm moving around to try to get into the middle. I kick a ball over here at the enemy. What I should have done at this point is kick the ball at the dragon and just been focusing on it. If I had noticed that its health bar was that low, I could have potentially last hit it and stolen it. But it's really, really hard to see the health bar because it's all the way up in the top corner. There's a bunch of UI elements covering it. There's a bunch of enemy team health bars covering it. But if I was really on my game here, and I was a master of Pokemon Unite, I would have seen what the situation was that was playing out here. We've got 3 enemy team members right here on the dragon. The dragon has the tiniest little sliver of health. All of them have full HP. There's nobody on my team anywhere close. And so what I need to do is just desperately try to last hit the dragon so that they don't get it. In general, my team really, really blew it with this fight. The Mamoswine and I came in from the top and killed their most valuable player very quickly, which is great. But I don't know what the rest of my team was doing because only one of them is dead. We've got 3 people up, and they're just sitting here ripping this dragon for free. So I don't really understand what's going on and where the rest of them are. It looks like one of them is down at the bottom left trying to fight this tree. The tree generally doesn't really do any damage, but it's like never dies. So it just stalls and stalls and stalls indefinitely. So it's doing exactly what its job is, tying up one of our team members, wasting a bunch of time, and it won't ever be able to get killed. Okay, so yeah, at this point, this was a very, very lightning decision moment. But if I wanted to have any chance at winning, it was going to be putting a hit on the dragon. I still can't really figure out what my team was doing though. I mean, it looks like there's somebody behind me on the right, so they're blowing it completely. They're not fighting anyone. I don't know what they're doing. We have the mammoth swine up outside of the walls, so they're really unable to do anything either. And then we have one person down fighting the tree, so they're effectively getting beaten because fighting the tree is just a worthless pursuit that just never ends and takes forever. It doesn't really have any payoff. So the tree has taken one person out of the fight effectively. They've got 3 here burning down the dragon. I'm trying to get in there, but I'm really unable to because it's 3-on-1. And my other 2 teammates have blown it effectively. And so let's just break down what happens here. I start putting hits onto them instead of the dragon, so that's my first mistake because I can't really see the health bar. And then they take down the dragon here because there's 3 of them hitting it. And all I do is manage to get one of them to half health. But as soon as the dragon goes down, they get a huge shield. And so effectively are back up to full health. Now I'm still here trying to put hits on them, which at this point I should have run and tried to score on them after they got it. I don't know why I thought that I'd be able to kill them all. I think it's probably because I've been killing them pretty heavily the whole game, but what I should have recognized is that the shield that they all get from the dragon and the fact that it's 3-on-1 really makes it impossible for me to win this battle. So what I should have done here is I should have turned around and run straight towards their goal and try to score again, because they're probably coming towards our goals and trying to score, since they just got the dragon, which helps them to score faster. So generally, when you get the dragon, you get a huge shield and it doubles your scoring speed, which is great. So after you get it, you want to go and run and score. You can get your shield killed if somebody puts enough damage on you to remove your shield. The shield goes away. And it also, your double scoring speed goes away. So it gives you some time to get to the enemy goals and get a score in real quick. So what you should be doing as soon as you get the shields and running to their goals. And if you're not doing that, then you've made a mistake. Because if you're fighting with someone, you're just giving them the opportunity to remove your shield, which gets rid of the advantage you just gained. So what I should expect is that they're going to all run to our goals, which means that I should just go to their goals and counter score, because honestly, it's the best thing we can do in this situation. Even if I do that, almost still we guaranteed lose. But at least it's a chance at something. So instead of doing that, what I do instead is I make an aggressive move and I go straight in to all 3 of them to try to kill them, which is really dumb. And then I just get instantly decimated because they're all running unites. They all have huge shields and it's 3-on-1. And meanwhile, Mammoth Swine's still just walking around not doing anything. So this is a big mistake for Mammoth Swine. Even though this player had been doing really well the whole game, they kind of ended up throwing at the end here. They were with me when we took out one of the members of their team, which was great, and then kind of dropped the ball afterwards. And everyone else on my team, I don't know what they're doing, but they also completely blew it at the end of this game, unfortunately. So here I end up just going down, and that's that. Now Mammoth Swine's going to go in and try to burn down some of their shields with a Unite, and actually does a pretty decent job at stalling out this arena, stopping them from scoring. So this is actually really good too. He stops the score on the top, but they've already scored on the bottom. They're ahead of us. There's a little fight going on the bottom right. It looks like Machamp loses. Now they're coming in for another score up top. And what I should have done for sure is gone up and tried to prevent that score. No, actually that's not true. I remember deciding not to do that because right now we're behind. And so if we don't score, we're going to lose. And it doesn't matter if I stop them from scoring up there or not. We're guaranteed losing if we don't get points in. And there's only a minute left. So I'm trying to get over there and score. It's possible that I made a mistake here and I should have gone to kill them first and then gone to score. But I saw Absol going up there already. They're already both at half health. I don't know if they have their shields and are just going to score no matter what we do. So I end up going down because I know that there's at least nobody down here. And I try to get there as fast as I can. Absol, meanwhile, is defending. They don't get a score in quite yet. I'm trying to get there as fast as possible. And we're still actually successfully defending up top. So this was the right move ultimately. And now I find someone on the bottom zone. This is a supporter. I think I can kill them, so I'm going to try to kill them. And I do kill them on their point. Unfortunately, they have another person who shows up, 2 more. So there is really no chance of me being able to score. This game is already sealed up. They end up winning this fight on the top and scoring. But it doesn't really matter. If we don't get any points, we're going to lose regardless of whether they win or lose. So at this point, the game is over. Somebody tries to surrender, which is stupid. Stop trying to surrender. And I'm like, well, shit. But I think it was generally a good game. And hopefully it was interesting to kind of see how some of these decisions played out. You can see what the tree is doing here. It's just impossible to kill this tree. Even when it's like 2-on-1, it can take like so long for that tree to die. Yeah, game's over, I'm just wasting time. Okay, so now let's look at the post-game analysis here. So I want to see how much we lost by if I would have gotten 100 if we had won. It would have been close actually, but we still would have lost even if I had gotten 100 in. So let's look at the totals here. The MVP again is more or less a random assignment at this point. I mean, the Mammoth one did a pretty good job. It certainly was not the MVP of the game, not anywhere close to it. My MVP score, which you can see on the right, was tied with theirs, but I didn't get it for some reason. Doesn't really matter. What really stands out is if someone is way below the mark, and the Machamp is in that position right now. The Machamp didn't really score, didn't really get any KOs, had a really low MVP score. So this is somebody who is like not really pulling their weight in the game. And for them, their Trevenant got MVP, the tree, which is pretty great for them. Got tons of scores. We saw how they came in by just kind of sneaking across the map. I feel like this was not actually a really good player. They just got really lucky that every time they just charged the goal. A lot of the time there was nobody there because they were fighting elsewhere and they got a score in. Normally they would have just died because they just kept charging the goal. And are not really strong enough to kill the other team on goal, but they ended up getting pretty lucky this game and got a lot of scores in, which is great for them. You can also see where the levels play out here, which is kind of interesting. So our team levels were relatively close, but they were a little higher across the board. You get a very large experience boost for killing the dragon. So the team who, if the dragon gets killed, the team who killed it usually has much higher levels. And in this case, they did have higher levels, 15, 15, 15, 14, 14. We had 13, 12, 14, 15, 13. I made it a point to get to 15 specifically because I knew I would kind of have to carry this game, and so I had to be high level. But, you know, obviously it wasn't enough. But in general, I'm relatively satisfied with my performance in this game. There were a couple of mistakes that I made that we talked about and pointed out. But overall, it was a pretty decent game. I got the most KOs overall in the game, which is great. And we're going to go take a look at the damage here as well in a moment. Yeah, and here's the damage numbers. Let's take a look at this. So I also had the most damage in the game by a decent margin. So I feel like even though I lost, you know, I played a pretty good game and I did my best. My team's damage numbers were generally very weak compared to theirs. As you can see, we got 30, 40, 40, 70, 40, whereas they had 50, 50, 40, 60, 30. So I think the reason they won this game was generally because their team across the board was a little bit more consistently decent. Whereas on our team, a lot of the members of my team kind of just, you know, blew it. And I tried to hold my own, but it just wasn't enough against, you know, their entire team being a little bit more coordinated. And sometimes it's going to happen, and it's like, okay, it's not really something to get worried about. Even super, super good players have like 50, maybe 60% win rates pretty regularly. So you're just going to end up losing a lot in this game. It's how it goes. But that's kind of one of the things that I enjoy about the game is that it's like, it's very challenging. You don't play it for a little bit and then you're just like crushing everybody. It's super difficult. It's super nuanced. And it consistently gives you a huge challenge. And there are always like little changes that you could have made to try to win. There are definitely ways we could have won that game. I could have probably saved like 50 of their points from going in if I hadn't died to that tree, which would have been really easy on the top in the middle of the game. And if I had ended up being able to last hit the dragon instead of giving them the last hit, we probably would have won the game. Although that was a long shot with a 3-on-1. There is a chance at it. And potentially if I had just run and gone to score instead of trying to fight them in the middle at the end of the game, I could have gotten 100 points in, and that might have made the difference. Let's see, if we had an extra 100 points and they dropped 50 points, it would be very, very close. Then we would have had a 422, and they would have had 427. So, I mean, it would have been a very close margin, and we could have potentially won if those changes had been made. So I feel like there's always, I mean, there's not always, but usually there are things that you could do to try to swing the game in your favor. And if you look back and think about them, it helps you to make better decisions for next time. So anyway, I hope this is a helpful overview. This is the first time I've done one of these things. I kind of had fun doing it, but you know, that's all. Thank you for watching.